In this video, we're going to look at how to write the solution paragraphs. And of course, that's going to be the second part of the body, are the solution paragraphs. You'll have your problem paragraphs all done before you get to any of the solutions. But once we get to the solutions, this is how you would do each one of the paragraphs. So this is a diagram that would just show one of the paragraphs. You'd have at least two or more paragraphs within your solutions section. So at the beginning of the solution paragraph, you need a topic sentence that says which solution or which part of the solution you're going to be discussing in this paragraph. And it's really important for your first solution paragraph to have some strong signaling language that lets the reader know that you're now switching from problems to solutions. So using the word solution or solve or a synonym of that would be very advisable. All right, and you want to be as specific as you can about what your solution is here so the reader can understand it right away. Then you illustrate the solution. So for each solution paragraph, you've got three parts: definition, feasibility, and implementation. You start by defining, explaining what the solution is. That's what you must begin with. You must explain exactly what is it that you are saying people should do to solve this problem. And you need to be specific in doing that. Then you can move on to either feasibility or implementation. It doesn't matter which order you go there. You definitely need to have definition first, but after that you could do the feasibility next or the implementation next, whatever flows better. Just make sure that you do both of them. I put feasibility next because I think that most of the time you would go on to it next after defining what the solution is. And feasibility just means explaining why the solution would work. So this is really where you're persuading your reader, hey, my solution will work, and this is where you're convincing them of that. So you're not just putting out a proposal here, right? You're not just saying, here, let me throw out an idea. You actually have some evidence here to present to show that your solution would work. And how do you do that? Well, you can show that the solution has worked elsewhere. It's very common that you'll find in your research a solution that's been tried in another state or another city or another country or somewhere else and has worked there. That would be great evidence to show that your solution is feasible. You also could show that your solution has worked in similar situations, or maybe a similar kind of solution has worked. That's another way to show feasibility. Or you could quote from a credible expert who's able to explain why it would work. That would be another way. And you could, of course, use a combination of these. And then you also have to show or explain how your solution would be put into place. That's the implementation. Like, how would it get done? For a lot of solutions, that means who would pay for it, right? Not always, but often. Or just how would it be established, right? Because it's not enough just to say, here's what my solution is, and here's why it would work. You also have to persuade people that it could really happen, right? And tell them how they could do it or how it could be done. So those are going to be the parts of your solution paragraph. Now, if this paragraph gets too long, you may need to break it into separate paragraphs by breaking it between these parts, right? Definition, feasibility, implementation. You could break it between one of these two parts if it's getting too long. And that's why I say sometimes you're just going to give the part of the solution here. And that would be, one or more of these parts. But that's just if your paragraph gets too long, or if you have just one solution and you've got a ton to say about it, right? Like there's really a lot of evidence for how well it might work. Of course, all the same things apply in terms of evidence and analysis as they did for a problem paragraph. So that means you need at least two pieces of evidence, right, in each paragraph, and probably more than that, given that you have to cover all these sections. Your evidence should be in the form of quotes from experts, statistics, and very specific examples. And your evidence should come from your sources, your research. So if you're going to present 2 pieces of evidence, that means at least 2 citations of sources in each paragraph. And like I said, for a solution paragraph, that would tend to be on the skimpy or thinner side, since you're covering all of these things. But this is how you would put together a solution paragraph. And then the next video, we'll look at some good and bad examples of solution paragraphs.